What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Baseball Goombas. Today's April 10th. It's our 5th podcast. John and Chris here.
Chris Goomba.
All is right in the baseball world.
The Mets are
8-1 after a sweep in Washington.
Kidding me?
And they actually took the first game in Miami last night. And the Yankees are playing 500 ball, and they're lucky to be playing 500 ball.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. Very underwhelming performances so far. But let's get right into it with the Mets, please, because I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
He's not ready to talk Yankees yet.
I'm gonna leave that alone for right now.
So the Mets that series, the starters did pretty well. DeGrom did his DeGrom, 6 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 5 Ks, 3 walks. Matz, as much as I hate on Matz, he grinded.
Pitched well.
He actually went out there and grinded, or he got himself into some situations, got bailed out by Lagares on the home plate. But I mean, after 5 innings, 3 hits, only 2 walks at 8 Ks.
Wow.
And his only run was due to the Todd Frazier error, where he forgot how to throw and launched it to the dugout.
Surprising start by Steven Matz.
So, but I mean, I was impressed. He did do his little his Steven Matz pouting after the run scored, but I mean, I'm gonna give this one to him. He actually pitched very well, and he got himself out of jams.
Harvey grinded too with his start. 5 innings.
Harvey, I felt this time around he got a little overconfident and started overthrowing a bit. Because that first start he was sitting around 91, 92, and this start he was throwing around like 94, 95, and I thought he just was like, okay, maybe just a little overconfident, saying, okay, I'm back. Let me just. But his fastball was flat. And those first 2 hitters, a seed to Gonzalez and then the single right past Cabrera, I was like, I texted our friends. I was like, this is not good. He's getting hit hard. And then Bryce put one into the seats.
It could have been better.
But he did.
I thought he had a respectable quality start.
He did, because he did settle down. I mean, the 5 innings, 4 earned runs, a walk, 2 Ks, got bailed out with that Adrian Gonzalez grand slam. And Tanner Roark being Tanner Roark, but
I was watching that game, and I know Matt Harvey, he kind of slimmed down a little, but my goodness, he looks nothing like Matt Harvey.
He does.
He lost like 100 pounds, not 100
he
pounds.
He
was very little chunky,
he was a little chunky,
a little hefty, little muscle, a little meat on the muscle, and he looks slim and trim.
He's on the Dominic Smith diet plan. But what I'm really liking about this team is
the 8-1. Is that what you're liking?
Well, no, see, Met fans love to find things to complain about. So I mean, they're really making it difficult for me right now.
Honestly, I as a Yankee fan, I find nothing wrong right now with the New York Mets.
8-1 will do that.
Okay, nothing is wrong.
But what I really, really like is they're playing each game like a playoff game. The way they have these 2 back-end starters coming out of their pen, it feels like a playoff game where you have like like we had John Neese or Bartolo Colon coming out of the pen. You have that in the first week of the season. There's so much depth in that bullpen.
Bullpen is really dealing.
It's incredible.
I talk about the Yankees having the best bullpen ever. Not even this season. Not even close. How about the Mets having the best bullpen in baseball right now?
So, I mean, Gazelman and Lugo, the ones I just talked about, 6 innings pitched for Gazelman, 1 earned run, 9 Ks. He's got a 1.5 ERA. Lugo, same thing, 6 innings.
7 strikeouts.
7 Ks.
Zero ERA.
Giving up nothing. He dominated the Nats lineup to get out of the jam site. They made him look foolish.
Blevins.
Not
even runs, right?
Yeah, he was incredible last year. He's just glad to have him back.
Familia, 5 saves already in the first 9 games.
There's really no complaints coming out of the bullpen. The fact that Seth Lugo's done so well, he's actually he's pitched himself out of the 5-starter spot because he's been so dominant coming out of the pen. I mean, so now Wheeler's gonna be your 5th starter, and he stepped up in his 1 AAA game, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. And Vargas, saw today that he's having trouble fielding, so he's.
I read.
He's gonna throw a simulated
earlier
game
today
Thursday.
that Vargas's hand is not healing as expected.
Yeah, he can't field the ball right now, so they're just take your time. What's the rush? The way they're playing.
No, I agree with that.
And so he's going to throw the simulated game Thursday, but just take your time.
So for Familia, right, 5 saves in the first 9 games. Mm-hmm. He doesn't pitch last night, and here comes Jacob Ram out of nowhere.
Yep.
And just fires a scoreless 9.
Forget about the whole pen is doing. Even Hansel Robles.
Yeah, he's been
the guy who just gave absolute bombs last year. Is dealing besides that one hiccup to Harper, the opposite field shot.
You know a team is going well, especially to start the season when Jacob Ram comes in and fires 1, 2, 3 against the Nats.
Yeah.
Series sweep, ball game over.
And not for nothing, the Nationals, after watching these three games, that lineup is not the same.
And Daniel Murphy's out, but he's not going to come back and be the savior. He's a good hitter. He developed into a great hitter.
The only threats I see in the lineup are Rendon and Harper. Zimmerman's not going to be doing that 350 nonsense.
What, he had 30 home runs last year?
He's not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not worried about Ryan Zimmerman ever doing that again.
Me neither.
He's aging. I don't know how he did it last year, but Harper and Rendon are your only threats. Not having Jason Worth there anymore, and then now you have Brian Goodwin. That is...
And Michael A. Taylor. He's good for speed. That's about it. He hits
These
nothing.
guys are not...
I'm tired. I am tired of... yes, they've been consistent, but they've been consistent losing in the postseason.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody hypes up the Washington Nationals.
Win a series.
Yeah, win. Just every time.
Oh, my God. It's such a waste a waste of a playoff
Every
team
postseason is when they get canned early. What I want to say about the bullpen real quick is Mickey is just using these guys and trusting his guys in the bullpen.
They said he's a great pitching mind, and we were lucky to have him. The second it happened. This guy's a brilliant...
You know our feelings on these analytics. Sometimes doesn't always work. But Mickey Callaway is showing that you got to trust these guys.
Yep.
Trust your arms, regardless of the matchup. Whether they pitched 1 day in a row, 2 days in a row. Who pitched 3 days in a row? Somebody pitched 3 in a row. I don't know if it was... Familia or Lugo or Gazelman.
Familia might have been.
Somebody, well, anyways.
I think a couple guys.
Somebody pitched 3 days in a row.
But nobody's doing more than 3 days in a row.
So far, Boone on the other side of town, he's not going to do that.
No.
You have to trust your guys to get guys out regardless of matchups. Just throw that aside for a game or two and let your guys throw. It doesn't always work that way. Yeah. So what I do want to ask you, John Goomba, is how do you feel about Callaway using these guys that often? Or is the bullpen going to be overworked already to start the season?
I mean, it's already looking that way. The fact that we brought up Corey Oswalt today, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I am concerned that I constantly see. I mean, if you look at this series, DeGrom 6 innings, Matt's 5, Harvey 5. We're having a hard time getting past 5 innings.
That'll
and you're gonna wind up
you're
gonna wind up overusing Gazelman and Lugo for 2 inning spots. And I feel like if you continue to do this, you are gonna have an overworked bullpen.
Not pitching deep into games is Achilles' heel right now, and same thing with the Yankees.
These starters are still trying to get stretched out here. So I mean, I'll give it like the month or so before these guys can maybe go 7-8. But I mean, it's nice when you can have a starter just take one for the team and go 8 innings and just the whole bullpen saved. So I mean, but nobody's done that yet. So the bullpen really has been overworked, but nobody's been dealing enough or had a low pitch count enough to not bring these guys in.
So speaking of Mickey Callaway, he's coming in hot. Pitching coach for the Indians. He's got a talented team. Pitching, the pitching with the Mets. Offense, they got talent on the offense on the lineup. The team is not far removed from the World Series appearance 3 years ago.
Yep.
So after 7 seasons, perhaps players stopped believing to Terry Collins, listening to Terry Collins. His shtick got old.
It did. So it was time to change it up.
So in comes this fresh new voice, and players start buying in, trusting his process.
Also,
culture change.
A team that's always preached the pitching will get us there. The starters are going to be what makes this team, and then you went out and got a pitching-minded coach. I think that's a huge reason.
Yeah, a huge reason is right. And he comes in with, like I mentioned, the culture change. We're going to do things this way. We're going to do things that way. And he's come in like at 8-1. It's no surprise. Success right away. Best start to a season, tied for the best start in franchise history.
Yep,
right?
Yep.
If they win tonight, 9-1, that's the best start.
One, yeah.
So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to believe that players already, granted small sample size, they're buying in and laying the foundation for New York Mets baseball post Terry Collins. And
the atmosphere looks incredible.
Right,
the,
so
salt and pepper shaker.
Yeah, well, you got that from Todd Frazier with the Yankees thumbs down. He's bringing that over. Okay, so you're welcome for that.
Thank you.
But it's more or less, it's like, hey, let's keep it going. Let's have some fun. And right now they are. It's working so far.
That's what it looks like. It looks like everybody's having a good time playing baseball.
Yeah, that series against the Nationals, that was a huge sweep.
Yeah.
And like Harvey said, read his quotes, sent a message to baseball.
Did.
Across the Nationals and the National League. Hey, look out for the Mets. And I agree with that. They're doing all the little things right to win ball games. According to the New York Post, I read this the other day. 14 innings in which they've given up a run, they'd get it right back in the next at-bat half the time.
Wow.
So they get scored upon, and
shut the door.
And they're like, "Hey, you know what? We're getting that right back," and they do.
That's always a huge inning.
Realizing what needs to be done and doing it.
Yeah, and just getting them right back. That's always huge. I'll tell you what I'm also really impressed with is Asdrubal Cabrera.
He's a ball player.
He's hit
incredible. He's
always hit,
career.
but I mean, out of the gate, this guy is raking. 324, 3 doubles, a home run, 3 ribbies, 390 on base. But not only Asdrubal,
Adrian Gonzalez.
The huge question mark was Adrian. Can this guy do it? He hit like 1 something in spring training, one home run. Is his back going to be hurting? He's a little lower, 269, but his on base is there at 387. He saved the game the other day, just jumping on that first pitch fastball from Roark for the grand slam. And his defense is so much better than Duda's. When he picked off Trey Turner, when he rounded third base too far, Adrian Gonzalez immediately snapped the ball and got him in a rundown to get him out. It's little things like that Lucas Duda, he either doesn't throw it, he doesn't see it, just doesn't know. But Adrian, that's that kind of Gold Glove veteran thing.
It's a veteran presence in the dugout, and I think
it's those little things that you don't realize that are just huge to winning ball games. We're doing all the little things.
All the little things right, and that's what I want to get into again real quick. They're capitalizing on mistakes. They're being aggressive on the base paths, efficient base running, playing smart, and that all goes back to players buying what Callaway is selling.
Yeah.
That's the second game against the Nationals. The third base coach took a shot and sent Rosario home. After Cabrera's hit, and the smart money would have been to hold him up, but be aggressive, take a shot.
No, I mean I'm not gonna get on third base coach for that because when Tim Tuffle was there, he said it could have been a home run and he would have held him up at third. He held up every single man I've ever. It was painful, and then next thing you know, here comes the 8 and 9 hitter. And Tim Tuffle was painful. So I'm not going to get on anybody for being aggressive right now.
Be aggressive, send these guys home, play some runs, and win some games. And that's what they're doing. And mind you, they're doing all of this without Cespedes, really.
Yeah, what is it, 180 something? He's struggling.
He's 7 for 37, 189 batting average.
Yeah, he's struggling.
So they're doing all this right now basically without Cespedes contributing at all. So imagine if he gets going.
Yeah.
They're going to be unstoppable. They're going to be 161-1.
But, so, what news today, Corey Oswalt got called up. He's the number 16th ranked prospect in the Mets system, MLB.com, and he's the 8th ranked pitcher. Double A last year, he's done well. He was 12-5 with a 2.28, 119 Ks and 134 innings pitched. The problem is...
Wait a second. Did you send Brandon Nimmo down? Is that the problem, Mr. John Goomba?
The problem is this poor kid who's so excited, calling his family, calling his fiance, hey, I made it to the majors finally. He's kind of a villain. Because every single Met fan loves Nimmo, and you got sent down for, I guess, because we were just talking about overworking the bullpen just to get an extra fresh arm in that pen. But, I mean, Brandon Nimmo is the last one who deserved to get sent down.
He's played well, like we have mentioned before on this
600 on base. 600. Hey, could you head to Vegas for a couple days?
I question that, but since Conforto came back, there have been no at bats for Nimmo.
He came to pinch hit and he hit a double off the wall.
He should be getting some at bats. I don't agree with sending him to Vegas.
Bruce actually took some grounders at first base today, which is good to see. Because I agree, you can't have a 600 on base percentage in Vegas.
Conforto.
Guy's hitting 333.
Conforto came and just took his playing time away, but
which I knew was going to happen, but I wasn't expecting.
Sent Reyes to the minors.
So Reyes, quickly on Reyes. Reyes is trying to do his best impersonation of Ching Long Hu. Do you remember Ching Long Hu?
I do not, actually.
So Ching Long Hu was a top prospect out of Taiwan for the Dodgers. And for 4 years, they were trying to get this guy going. He hit 191. Mets get him. Here comes Chin Long Hu making the open day roster. Goes 1 for 20. And he never sees a baseball game again. So Reyes right now is 0 for 10 with a walk and a caught stealing. And this caught stealing was with 2 outs and Matt Harvey up at the plate. So this goes back to my selfish Reyes, where you just got caught stealing with Harvey up. Now Harvey's got to lead off the next inning. Did you really need to go? Did you really need to do that?
No.
So this is what I was talking about with the Mets, where I talked about it last time. If TJ Rivera was hitting 350, and Reyes is on this. I know it's different positions, but I hate seeing guys giving their heart and soul to this team like Nimmo. His personality is incredible. The guys love him, and then you hear we gotta accommodate Jose Reyes. I know it's different positions, but I just hate seeing that. And
yes, he got sent down, but I truly believe that he'll be right back up sooner rather than later.
Within a couple days. I know, but it's just
annoying. What does that show Nimmo, though? What does that show Nimmo? Hey, you've done pretty well. You 600 on base, like you mentioned. Yeah. But, take a couple hacks in Vegas.
Yeah. So they were talking to Callaway before tonight's game, and I'm just going to read a couple quotes here. He said about Nimmo, he deserves to be here. He handled the news unbelievably. What a guy. He's a winning player, and he's going to help us for a long, long time. That just makes you love Nimmo more. The fact that he's getting on base 60% of the time, gets sent down, and he takes it unbelievably. He's just a great guy. It's hard to not like a guy who walks and then hustles to first. And then he has the crooked smile because he's so excited, like a kid who's got so excited that he got on base. And when you're successful in New York, well, we always say, all you need to do is do well in New York, and you're gonna be loved.
Yes, it's 110% true. Because if you don't do well,
we'll boo the crap out of you. I'll tell you that.
We're gonna hate you.
Yeah, you're gonna get booed 0 for 5 strikeouts and real.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So, are we switching gears into the Yankees?
Yeah. Well, 1 second. I just want to talk about
because I'm ready to go.
ESPN real quick. Just one thing. ESPN is becoming more and more painful.
First, speaking of ESPN, first of all, I don't who was watching that telecast Sunday Night Baseball between the Nationals and the Mets. My goodness. Did you happen to hear that screaming young girl, or it could have been just a little young boy? I don't know what it was.
Couldn't tell what it was.
But holy gannolis, that was brutally painful to listen to. I was watching it on mute. I couldn't take it. After every pitch, all you heard was...
So there's just 2 things on ESPN besides not telling the kid to sit down. Just because Tanner Roark is throwing the game you're televising, you don't need to praise this guy like he's Max Scherzer. He's a career 3.43 ERA, where he's actually done well, 14.285, but then in 15.438, then in 16.283, and then 17.467.
Jekyll and Hyde.
He's really Jekyll and Hyde, but I mean, he's a career 3.43. Let's just calm down.
He's like a nice number 4 star.
Exactly, he's a 4.5. Let's pump the brakes, saying how great this guy's 2-seamer. It's Tanner Roark. Let's just because you're televising the game, stop harping Tanner Roark. Second, Alex Rodriguez, who is still one of my favorite baseball players of all time, despite the roids and being on the Yankees.
Great ball player. I don't care. Great ball player.
He had mentioned during during the broadcast that he really wanted to play for the New York Mets. And he kind of worded it like the Mets really didn't want him. And the kind of old Mets exec said, hold on a second. Because he was asking for, I don't quote me on the numbers, but it was over $200 million. I
think so.
It was like, I want to say 240. But there was nobody even coming close to that. And he also apparently wanted things like his own plane. He wanted a pop-up shop to sell his own merchandise. So, Alex, don't tell me you would have taken a little hometown Keith Hernandez was my favorite player discount because all the Mets are on. So, I mean, that was annoying. I'm glad the Mets...
That's making huge headlines.
Said, hold up a
A-Rod
second, A-Rod. You asked for almost $1 billion and a plane. And Mike Piazza was just... we had Mike Piazza at the time, Hall of Famer, and he was just... going about his way trying to be it's like hard to accommodate one superstar when the other guy wants nothing. So
well, A-Rod wants the world, so
he does. He deserves it. I love A-Rod.
I like A-Rod too.
But okay, let's go into the mediocre Yankees now.
Okay, so the Yankees with such sky high expectations. Again, yes, small sample size. It's only 10 games in. But right now, yes, they're playing Boston, starting a series against Boston for the first time in 2018. But at the very current moment, they are 5-5, playing 500 ball. Listen, it's not going to get it done, okay? And it's been 5-5, yes, 5 wins, 5 losses, but those 5 losses have been extremely ugly,
painful,
like horrible losses.
Yep.
It's not the start anyone in the Bronx had envisioned. There's been, like I said, some nice wins, but more ugly losses than that. The big three hasn't really done anything at all.
No.
Especially Giancarlo Stanton. He's been historically bad so far. 2 games already without hits and 5 strikeouts apiece. It is just K after K after K. He started tonight's game off 0-for-1 with a strikeout on 3 pitches against Chris Sale. And ESPN had noted, ESPN Stats and Info, Stanton had more strikeouts last week, 16 of them.
Oh, yeah, this was sick.
Yeah, right? Than Joe DiMaggio had the entire 1941 season.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. And we, 2 weeks ago on our show, we had mentioned that, last week was it? The debut of Stanton. And he hit the home run, 2 home runs right away.
Yeah.
And taking the pressure off in New York. When is he going to get a home run? When is he going to home run? Well, now I guess the pressure is back on because this guy can't grab a hit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I think it's best. I mean, this is. I know it's historically bad. It's a little bit worse than it's been, but Giancarlo has always been notoriously inconsistent.
Yeah, he has. I understand that he has.
Even during his MVP year, I was looking through just some dry.
He started off pretty rocky. And he wound up with MVP.
Yeah, it's like there was a 12-game stretch
I get that.
where he hit 103 with 13. He was 4 for 39 and had 13 Ks between August and the first week of September. But then you look later in the year, April 9th to the 18th, he hit 156, 14 Ks in 9 games. But then he followed the next 3 games with 4 home runs. This is what you're gonna get at a Giancarlo. He's gonna go 5 for 50 with 20 Ks, and then he's gonna go 15 for 30 with 7 home runs.
Right, and that's when we're all love Giancarlo Stanton.
It's something that the Yankees fan can't handle.
No, well, that goes back to what you just said 5 minutes ago.
Love the panic.
In New York, unfortunately, it's how it goes.
Yeah.
You're doing well, we love you. If you don't, we hate you.
But he's gonna
and he already got a round of booze.
He's gonna go through his weeks where he gets 7 home runs in a week, and he's gonna be God again. It's just a roller coaster ride of Stanton, and you just gotta ride it.
But again, in the homestand, he had 16 strikeouts in his 27 at bats.
That's insane. I know. It's a little bit more extreme than what he's usually done, but you just have to ride it.
It's a little more right now. Yes, I understand that. It's only been 10 games, but what magnifies it even more is because Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez have been doing next to nothing as well.
That's true.
So everything is all magnified because Stanton's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So
if all these guys click, forget it.
Oh right, no, I agree. But right now it's not happening, and they were down 3-0 as we're doing this.
Yeah.
So against
Severino's getting hit.
Against the Orioles in the weekend series, they walked Judge with the game-winning run at second to intentionally walk Judge to face Stanton.
Wow. To face the MVP.
Who does that?
The reigning MVP.
That's how bad Stanton has been doing to start the season so far.
That's incredible.
You could have walked Judge and Stanton to put runners on first and second to pitch to Neil Walker, but they didn't. But Buck Showalter did not do that because they knew we'll get Stanton more than we'll get Neil Walker. I mean, what does that tell you?
Buck's a gamer.
So I mean, wow. But what really gets me, really chaps my A on this, is bases loaded in the bottom of the 12th inning, Sunday. No outs. Nobody out. Bases loaded. You have Aaron Judge coming up, and you have Giancarlo Stanton coming up.
Fly ball.
10 out of 10 times, that's game over. The pitcher might as well just say, "I'm done. Mm-hmm. We'll give you the win without even me throwing the ball."
Intentional walk.
So Judge, comebacker to the pitcher, he throws home, and then the catcher throws the third, double play. Now Stanton comes out, strikes out, game over. Bases loaded, nobody out, and you can't win the game with Judge and Stanton coming to the plate.
These losses have been
It's ugly.
Painful.
It's ugly stuff. So, okay, Sanchez now, on the other hand, I think he's still sleeping. 2 for 32. 63 batting average. 63.
63.
He doesn't have 3 numbers.
You could hit 63.
I can probably hit 64 if I tried. He cramping. He's been sidelined the last 2 games. So he's not going well either. So it's not all, again, it's not just the players, it's the coaches too. So Boone, rookie manager, everyone's going to get on him too. It's not just him. The injuries have been mounting. They're like the walking wounded. But it's not all Boone. Yes, he's made some questionable decisions, the bullpen decisions.
The injuries.
But, the lineup is just, it's not clicking other than really who? Didi? I mean, he's
that guy is just some
he's
ball
ripping.
player.
He's ripping. Might be Brian Cashman's biggest acquisition.
I really think he might be.
Other than
the
that,
consistency.
It's crazy.
Even in the playoffs, he's always been.
It's carried over. He's a good ball player. Other than that, though, Tyler Austin's kind of the forgotten man. He's been the second best hitter on the Yankees so far. Yeah. He started the series off tonight with a single, with a bloop single. So if the lineup needs to meet this potential, I think, because everybody praised talk about forgotten man. Sanchez is the forgotten man. He needs to play his part in this Yankee lineup to have any shot of winning 90-plus games. Yeah. So he can't be nice, and he can't feel too confident seeing 0-63 next to his name when he comes up to bat. He needs to get going. He's been chasing pitches out of the zone, soft contact, missing mistakes. He's at his best when he's driving the ball. He's not doing that. He's only got 5 strikeouts on the season, which is nice. So maybe eventually balls will fall soon, and numbers will correct itself. But my goodness, the Yankees are not. They are wholly underperforming right now.
So, I mean, really, it's a simple formula here. You need your 2, 3, 4 guys to just get a single, do anything. And you need your bullpen to bear down. I was looking at basically the starters and versus the bullpen again. And starters, you guys 9th best ERA in baseball, 4-1 with a 3.19.
The starting pitching. The starting pitching. I had mentioned that on last week's episode as well. They have been pitching really well. Yeah. They're not going deep into games, but they have been getting the job done. So
they're 9th in baseball. Mind you, the Mets are 7th, 3.09.
We get it.
But the bullpen is 24th.
Right.
1-4 with a 4.89, 63 Ks, 16 walks. Also, mind you, the Mets are number 1.
Yes, it's completely opposite right now.
But they finally sent Holder down after his 20 ERA, so maybe it'll go down a little bit.
Maybe, but definitely the bullpen has not been what everybody was touted them to be. You had mentioned 49. That was bullpen ERA entering tonight's game.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Jonathan Holder
4th to be ranked potentially number 1.
13th in the American League.
Oh my God.
So yeah, potentially number 1 in baseball.
Yeah.
But also, how about the best bullpen ever?
Yeah. Remember those articles?
Yeah. Remember that gig. Jonathan Holder was sent down. He let up that grand slam. The 2 losses, both extra innings against the Orioles. Jonathan Holder. Pedro Alvarez hits grand slam off him.
Yeah,
they lose 7-3 in 14 innings. Following that game, after that grand slam, after that heartbreaking loss, the following morning, Sanchez, nobody knew what was going on with him because he left limping off the field Friday night. Wade left the game with some type of flu-like illness.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You guys are dropping like flies.
Sabathia went on the DL with a hip issue, and Drury went to the DL because he apparently can't see. So you can't really play baseball if you can't see.
What would really annoy me as a Yankee fan, to say the least, is that he's had this and he's hit it.
He's hit it. I did see that report that he hit it from Arizona and now he's hitting it from the Yankees.
From baseball, that
what are you
he
doing,
has
guy?
migraines and that he literally can't see. Doing a little Percy Harvard impression.
Oh, man.
Migraines. And now he apparently he had it for years and tells nobody. And now the Yankees got to pay.
Yes.
That's fun.
It's just... And after that, and Saturday afternoon, that was the game they won, actually, 8-3. Mm-hmm. They played pretty well. And with all these injuries, that lineup consisted of Romine, Tyler Austin, Jace Peterson they called up from the minors.
He got DFA today.
Right, he did. Torreyes.
Jace Peterson.
And Andujar got the start, and they won 8-3. But, like, what is this lineup other than Judge Standitti? It's like a spring training lineup.
Like Pete Cosmo again.
right away. I mean, like I mentioned before, it's the walking wounded. I can't get over how many injuries. And now I don't know if this is not a shot at Boone, believe me, but did they have a loose coming off Joe Girardi's military style spring training? Do that way, and here comes Boone. Is it more loose? Is it more freestyle? So we don't know about that. But I mean, my goodness, with these injuries is crazy.
So I actually have a question about the injuries. CC goes on a 10-day DL, and you guys call up Luis Cessa and Domingo Germán, who's already given up a couple runs.
Germán led up that Sunday.
Yeah, he did. Anyway, at that point he was at 50
He threw
pitches.
50 pitches,
yeah,
which was questionable.
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, Domingo Germán throws 50-plus pitches.
I am with you. That's a potential Booney screw-up there. But why can't the Yankees let Chance Adams slip into the rotation? He was a 5th rounder in 2015. He's 23 years old. His minors career, he's 31-7 with a 2.42. Last year, he split time in AA and AAA, mainly in AAA, where he went 15-5 with a 2.45, 135 Ks, 58 walks, and 150 innings. 15-5 with a 2.45. A spot opens up. Why can't you let Chance Adams? Who else do you have?
Nobody now.
Who else
really?
that you want to call up? Hey, Chance, we're really hurting here. Let's see what you got, kid.
Justice Sheffield, but
I still don't think he's ready.
I don't think he's ready either.
I think Chance put up good enough numbers last year between AA and AAA to say he's kind of he might not be your highest ranked pitching prospect, but I think he's the closest to ready. Why don't you let him slip in there? See what he's got.
I 100% agree with you. I think they need to give Chance a chance.
Luis Cessa.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I
got you. Luis Cessa, they love this guy for some reason. He's literally done nothing. He's maybe won a couple games. He pitches like into the 3rd inning, and then he gets whipped. But they're in love with this guy.
I mean,
I don't know why.
I didn't realize Chance Adams was this good.
Chance Adams is a very nice pitching prospect.
My God,
that's in the Yankee farm system. They've been you've explained the numbers. They've hyped him up like crazy, and no, I don't understand why.
Especially when a starter goes down, that's a perfect slot for him, 3-4 spot.
I guess they don't think he's ready yet, but I don't.
I
wish I knew the answer to that question. But yeah, the Domingo Germán thing, I'm not too sure.
Not really blown away by these two guys coming up over Chance.
And I did see they announced today before the game that Sonny Gray is going to pitch Thursday, so there's not even going to be a spot open. So they're just going to go Severino, Tanaka, and Sonny Gray, and then I guess Jordan Montgomery.
No, they're just gonna skip. They're just gonna go with a quick 4-man.
So listen. Believe me, I wish we can see Chance Adams get a shot, but
why not?
Apparently, it's not going that way.
So let's see some of that Yankees panic and get some.
talk about panic. I just want to, get away from the Yankees real quick with a little thing here. Mm-hmm. Yes, I've said it before. It's a 10-game sample. But, believe me, I don't want this to happen. But I will throw it out there. Being a Yankee fan all my life. Huge if, Boston
scenarios
sweeps the Yankees. If they sweep them.
Sound the alarms.
I have a strong hunch things will start to get ugly in New York. Panic mode early in the Bronx. I'm not saying somebody's going to get fired. I'm not talking about jumping to conclusions, what's going to happen. But I have a feeling after this Boston series, I think things will start to turn some heads. People's heads will turn.
Especially with the Boston that's killing it right now.
And I think panic will set in.
You
both.
I
believe me, I don't want this to happen, but we'll see.
5-6 games out of first place after 2 weeks.
we'll if they sweep, they'll be 5-8, and if Stanton continues to strike out, Sanchez continues to not produce, Judge, I do think things will start to heat up a little bit, and we'll see what happens. I'm not looking forward to it though.
Could be a 1-year trial for Mr. Boone.
We'll see.
Which I know you're not opposed to. You've already had enough.
Yeah. Joe, who are you?
Mrs. Girardi.
But Ohtani, real quick about Ohtani. We want to get into a little discussion about Ohtani.
Baby Ruth.
So far, the guy's Babe Ruth. He hits.
Every number they do that he does, they show the ESPN ticker. It hasn't been done since Babe Ruth.
It is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see this.
It is cool.
The two-way player.
I did not realize his stuff was that nasty.
No, me neither.
It looks like he only has 2 or 3 really good pitches, but he's executing them well.
Everybody wrote him off in spring training. How they were even going to send him to
his ERA was like 27.
He hitting wise in spring training, he was 4 for 32. Pitching, I think he pitched just about 3 innings and 9 earned runs.
Yes, 27.
So that everyone was like, Ohtani. I don't know about Ohtani.
Small sample, but everybody was like, this guy stinks.
Send him to the minors. He's hit home runs in 3 to 4 games he's batted. First at bat at home at Angel Stadium, gone.
Yard work.
2 starts, quality stuff. Almost near perfect Sunday against my sleeper team, the A's. Who,
really.
What are they, 4-7 right now? Not looking too good on my pick, but again, early. We'll see. But 12 strikeouts, I believe, against the A's, and he's 2-0. And the sky's the limit, apparently.
Well, with the Ohtani, I'm not gonna lose my mind like the rest of the baseball world, but I am believing that this guy is gonna be a good ball player. His stuff is clearly nasty. He's not throwing BP fastballs like Yankee legend Keigawa, which was one of the how's that 5 years, $46 million working out? 5 years, $46 million for Keigawa.
Rough signing. How's Kazuo Matsui?
You know what? Did a little better than that. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a little 260 out of Kaz.
Kazuo Matsui.
You know we moved Reyes to second to accommodate Kaz. That's actually the one time I actually wanted to not. Like, I wanted Reyes. Hey, Reyes, play short. Not anymore, I'll tell you that.
Tasmanian devil.
But, so, Ohtani, over the 13 innings pitched, 2-0, 3 runs, 2 walks, 18 Ks. And batting .389, 7 hits, 3 home runs. The guy's on fire, but obviously he's not going to keep this up. I mean, pitchers will start figuring him out. I think if he settles around 280, 290, gets you 25 to 30 home runs, which is kind of what he did in Japan.
Love it. Angels eat that up.
Yeah, and if he gets an ERA between 3 and 3.5, I think the Angels are gonna really step into something here.
They're 8-3 right now. Yeah. They started real hot.
But one thing I did notice that when I was looking at Ohtani, I don't know how he did in Japan. I tried finding it, I couldn't find it. So this year,
ask Bobby Valentine
against righties, Bobby V in Japan. So.
I'm sure he knows.
Against righties, he's hitting .500. He's 7 for 14. Against lefties, he's 0 for 4. Small sample, but I don't know how he will fare against left-handed pitching. I don't know if he's going to be one of those, David Wright's, I hit 380 and then I hit like 240. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. But it's a small sample, but something I just want to keep my eye on. But I'm believing the hype, and I think he's actually going to wind up being a good ball player.
So do I.
Definitely potential. I think he's in the running right now early, but rookie of the year, I see him as the front runner.
Yeah.
I see him as the front
runner.
If
he keeps this up, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But don't you just love the early panic and the small samples and oh my God, what's happening?
That's what the beginning of the season is all about.
Beginning of the season is all
panic
about.
And overreactions.
Overreactions starting the season. But we'll see what happens in the upcoming week here with the Mets and the Marlins and
Brewers. So right now, Mets are in Miami. They were up tonight's game, and then they're home for the Brewers. So I mean, they can really put a dent into.
They
really can. If they sweep the
NL
Marlins, this can really get.
They might actually go 161-1. Okay. And the Yankees, they got Boston. The rivalry starting 2018, starting tonight. They're down already, and then they go to Detroit.
Yeah.
So,
which is not an easy series.
Nope.
Yankees all the way around.
Well, we shall see what happens.
Yeah.
That's about it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out next week's episode. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, our iTunes, our SoundCloud, and give the Goombas a follow on our Twitter at We Are the Goombas.
Goombas.
Goombas gone. Salud.
Arrivederci.